Okay, we can also do modulations with secondary dominants, like I already said. So let's take a little look at this. So this essentially, the way you do this is the exact same way we've done tonicizations with secondary dominants, except you need to have a cadence at the end of it in the new key to establish it. So let's just make something. Let's just use triads and see if we can. I'll use half notes. Okay, so let's say we're in the key. Let's go to an easier to follow key. Not that that one's hard, but okay. So let's do C major. Okay, so we're in C major. We need to establish C major. Let's do a 5 and 1. Okay, 1 1 5 1. Doesn't get any more clear than that. We are in C major. Okay, so let's do a modulation to G using a leading tone chord. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a leading tone diminished chord. Now let me just do this first. Let me just write out what I'm going to do. Okay, so we're going to do 1. Well, we've already done 1, 1, 5, 1. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is I want to do a diminished 7 chord of 5. Okay, so I just need a little line. Okay, so here's a secondary dominant. This is a secondary leading tone chord. We've talked about these in the last class. So 5 is G, right? So in order to lead into G, I need a leading tone of G, so an F sharp diminished chord. Okay, so let's go F sharp, A, C, and I want to make it a 7th just to really hit it home. So an E, let's throw that E at the bottom just for better kind of voice leading between here. I could throw that, let's throw that C at the bottom too. Let's get rid of that C at the top. Just because I want everything to kind of be in this same range here. So there's nothing too jarring, right? I'm trying to make this as smooth as possible. Okay, so leading tone diminished 7 of 5. And now let's go to a 1 chord in G. So do I have good resolutions? My 7th is here. So put that B up there. Make sure my leading tones resolve okay. That F sharp goes to the G. That should work. And now, so let's go back to labeling. So now we're 1 in G. So really what we've done here is this chord kind of functions as a pivot in a way, because this is what it is in the old key. Is in the key of C, this is a secondary dominant, but in the new key, this is not a secondary dominant. It is just what it is. It is, let's see here. In the key of G, this is just 7, right? So we could do that, and that's probably the best way to notate this, is using 2 chords for just this one, and then from here we say, okay, 1, And then in order to establish this a little bit stronger, we need a cadence. So let's do maybe a 2. So A, C, E, and then let's do like a cadential 6/4. So we need a G with a D in the bass. Oops. So we could go like that, and we'll make a big low D. And then the actual 5/7 chord, or not 5/7 chord, just 5 chord to make the cadential 6/4. I need an F sharp, D, F sharp, A, and then we'll land on 1 in G. There we go. Okay, so let's continue labeling here. So what did we do here? We did a 2. And here we did 5, 6, 4. Oops. Cadential 6/4. And then a 1 in the new key. So there we go. Modulation by secondary dominant, right? Let's hear it. Nice. Not too bad. So secondary dominant modulations don't need to be all that abrupt. They are a type of direct modulation. They are technically direct modulations / abrupt modulations, but they can be relatively smooth if you do them right. You really only need to introduce one new note to make a secondary dominant or a secondary leading tone and push it into a new key. That one note can just nudge us over into that new key and get us there. Cool.